On Yom Kippur in September this year, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, 2 Jewish men were murdered whilst praying in a synagogue in Manchester. The first deadly anti-Semitic terror attack against British Jews in modern UK history. But for our community, it wasn't a shock. It was confirmation of what we had been warning about for years. But anti-Semitism in 2025 certainly didn't start or end there. 2 men were convicted of plotting an ISIS-inspired mass shooting targeting Jewish schools and synagogues in Greater Manchester. Earlier this year, a small boat migrant was arrested and later convicted after being linked to Hamas. After Manchester, the Prime Minister promised to do whatever it takes, but within hours, protesters were back on Britain's streets, chanting to globalise the Intifada, the very ideology that had just killed Jews on British soil. Weeks earlier, despite the Jewish community pleading for them not to do it, the government recognised a Palestinian state with no conditions on Hamas, no demand to release the hostages, no renunciation of terror, no dismantling of a genocidal organisation. This week, ministers rolled out the carpet for Alaa Abdel Fattah, a man with a documented record of violent anti-Semitic rhetoric. Protests were held directly outside synagogues whilst family prayed inside. Police said they couldn't ban them, yet elsewhere marchers were banned for threatening the Muslim community. Menorahs were vandalised during Hanukkah, anti-Semitic graffiti was repeatedly sprayed in Jewish areas, Jewish football fans were barred from a match on claims later shown to be completely false. A rabbi in Bournemouth woke up to a swastika painted on his wall. That same day, a Jewish man was shot at with a toy gun in the same city. A few weeks ago, outside my workplace, I saw a woman dressed as an Auschwitz victim directly outside Parliament, using Jewish trauma to glorify extremism. At the Edinburgh Fringe, Jewish comedians were dropped uninvited over vague safety concerns. And venues have quietly cancelled Jewish events across the country. The BBC aired a documentary narrated by the son of a senior Hamas official without telling their viewers. At Glastonbury, chants calling for death to the IDF were broadcast live by the BBC and defended as art, and charges were later dropped by the police, citing a lack of evidence, despite those calls being broadcast live on the BBC to millions. In the NHS, doctors have shared anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, including Gas the Jews, and faced minimal to no consequences. Is it any wonder that Jewish women spoke earlier this year publicly of being afraid to give birth in NHS hospitals? On university campuses, Jews were harassed, surrounded, threatened, and branded Nazis. Calls for an intifada went unpunished. Many Jewish students now avoid campus completely, except for their lectures. And by the end of 2025, polling confirms that a majority of British Jews do not believe that they have a long-term future in this great country. That should have stopped Britain in its tracks, but it didn't. This is the truth about anti-Semitism in 2025. Every day, completely normalised. British Jews aren't asking for special treatment. We're just asking to be safe in our own country, for equal protection, and for a society that confronts hatred instead of managing it.